ready to go.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're working on an Echo SRM225 weed eater. Now she won't start, and it's got an odd head on it, but I think it's probably the carburetor. It usually is. I've checked the insides, and it's got compression, and the cylinder looks really good. So let's go ahead, and we're going to do something different today. We're going to rebuild the carburetor from head to toe. Usually I tell you, if you don't have an ultrasonic cleaner and you don't have the right tools, go ahead and just buy a carburetor, buy the kit with the fuel lines and all that and replace it. But today we're going to do something a little different, and we're going to rebuild this one. And for all you new people out there, go ahead and subscribe. It's free and we appreciate it. So let's get started. Let's put you right there. Let's back you up a half a step. Carry you up a little and put you right there. Let's brighten up the subject. There we go. How do you look? You look good. Okay. First thing we'll do is pull the air filter off and get the carb out of the way. I don't know what the fuel lines look like on this one yet. I think they're probably okay though. See right about here? One size bigger. Let's go right about here. Perfect. I love working on these little two-stroke motors. Definitely my favorite things to work on, partially because I can just toss them up here on the bench and get to work. Now this is one of the more difficult carburetors to work on as two-stroke carburetors go. We're going to loosen the gas cap up. It's already loose. And you always loosen the gas cap so you don't have gas kicking back at you through the lines. Now that felt really loose. I don't like that line. So there we go. We've got our carburetor. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way and take her apart and prep her for a full rebuild. See, what do we need? We're going to need a Phillips. We're going to need a Phillips and a Phillips and a Phillips. Now with a little practice, this is actually a pretty quick little job. Use one hand to get this out of the way and try to get to that screw. There you go. I think there's one on the side. Yeah. And that'll let us pull the slide out. If you don't do this often, or you don't have any experience with carburetors, and you see this particular type of carburetor, it's not a good place to start. This is one of the more arbitrary little carburetors you can find for working on it. So now once you've got those out, that'll slide out. Now we'll go ahead and we'll pull the bottom plate, and we'll pull the primer in that plate. And we're going to keep the screws separate for each section, so remember which one's which when we put it back together. Now, just like any of these, I don't have any idea of the history of this one. I do know there's supposed to be a screw there, though. So we'll get a screw to replace that one. Now here's where you want to make sure you take a lot of pictures. You pull this off with this gasket. See this little bubble here? That tells you that this gasket's not going to work correctly. This has to be flat for it to pump fuel correctly. So we're going to put a new gasket there. Now let's pull the metering diaphragm out and see what she looks like. And again, take lots and lots of pictures. And you'll notice I'm grouping everything up as I go, taking it apart. It makes it tons easier to put back together. The metering diaphragm, that could probably pass, but we're going to replace it since we're inside it anyway. And that's it. Now we're down to the bare block of the carburetor. Pull this off, see what it looks like inside. Pull the gasket off. And we're going to go ahead and put this and this in the ultrasonic and get them all cleaned up nice and clean. The outside looks really good on this one, but that doesn't mean anything at all for the inside. Let's get this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. My snacks. You can get these bags at the hospital. You can find them out back. They just throw them away by the hundreds. The temperature running. Let's set her at 20 minutes. Now it's only at 23 Celsius right now. These things heat up really fast once you turn them on. So let's let that cook for a little while and we'll be back in just a little while. Okay, now that we've got everything all cleaned up nicely, let's get her all back together. Well, first thing we're going to do is grab our little block and get our gaskets on her. And if you took pictures, you'll know what order they came apart, and it'll make it easy to put it back together. If you didn't take pictures, this will be a pretty tough job. So now we'll put her on the carburetor. And now there was one missing screw here originally. It goes right here. But I went ahead and found a spare for. So let's put that on and bolt that down first. That's the drawback to buying used equipment, is you don't know anything about its previous life, and it could have gone through a colorful life. Now we've got a replacement primer bulb. So we get that together. There's a lot of places where these will go together both ways. This is one of them. I don't know if it would make a difference on this part, but this is how it came apart. And I do believe this little lip here is to protect the fuel lines. Of course, it won't protect it from somebody who's got a screw gun. So you never know what your history is on your carburetors. We've already found one missing screw in this one. But it's pretty hard to hurt a carburetor. So let's see, which way do you go? You go this way. Slide him back into place. Very gently. Making sure everything lines up correctly. And it all looks good. And this is where it comes in handy to keep your screws all together, because you've got 3 different sections on this carburetor. And if you cross your screws up, the screws are different from one to the other, even though they're sort of similar. There you go, there's one. Let's get the 2 top ones in place. We'll do this one last because it's a pain in the neck. I'm going to spin this around. Hold it with one finger. Put the screw in with the rest of our fingers. Now I check it and make sure everything operates smoothly. And it does. It's returning well and all that whatnot. Okay, let's put our metering diaphragm back in. So we got a new metering diaphragm here. If you look at your old one had, a shape to it that the new one does not have. So it was ready to go. And on this, we've got a little hook, which makes it a little bit easier. It'll let you line things up a little bit better. Put that on the hook. As you can see, this isn't a square shape on this one. I'm going to put that on the hook. And let's ease her back on. And I can't stress enough that you want to take lots of pictures when you take it apart. I've seen more than a couple of these over the years, so I know what order they go in. But if you haven't, that one sitting on your bench is going to be a mystery. Okay. That's about it. Now let's move over and look at the fuel lines and see what we think. Get this old stuff out of our way. Okay, come on, weed eater. I do believe this is the return line. And the return line is a little bit stretched out at the end. So we're going to go ahead and put a new one in. These feel like they've got good flex to them. So we might be able to use those. Okay, we've got a return line. Let's run our little fishing tool in. Let's get to pop back up here where we can get to her. Come on, buddy. Or maybe not. There it goes. There she is. Very nice. Okay. Now we're going to hook it to our old line, or to our new line, rather. We're going to shove it through. And pull it back up through the hole from the other side, hopefully. This one takes a pretty hard turn down there. It's not as easy as some of the other ones. Very gently. Oh, we got just a tail. Let's see if we can grab it. Oh, that's so close it's not even funny, but we're not going to waste our time with it. We're going to start over again. And when you do this, you'll start over again pretty often. So if you do yours and you get halfway through it and it doesn't quite work, you're not alone. Since this one's really tight, we're going to give it a longer taper. And we're doing this just because the turn down there it goes from here to straight up. That way, with a little bit of luck, more of this will come through before it tries to break. Just like so. I'll grab it and pull it the rest of the way through. And there you have it. Instant return line. And that's pretty good. So let's take a look at the fuel line now. Yeah, the fuel line looks pretty good. I think we could probably use her. So let's attach our lines. And then attach the carburetor. Let's see, where do we want our line to be? Right about here. We want to have a little loop in it, but not much. There we go. Let's go ahead and attach the accelerator and throw the air cleaner back on. We should have a running weed eater at this point. I haven't checked it for ignition, but I did check the spark plug. I had a look inside it to make sure that the cylinder looked good earlier. Okay, snug her down. Let's put some fuel in her and see what we've got. Okay, that should be plenty. Okay. After our little rebuild, let's see what we've got. Give her a full choke. Make sure she's on. Let's start her up. Sounds pretty good. Okay, the only thing left is I want to get this head off and put a standard issue auto feed head on her. And she should be good to go. That came out pretty good. If you don't have an ultrasonic, it's pretty hard to get the same results using carburetor cleaner and spraying through the passages and blowing out with an air hose. Passages are really small inside these, and the ultrasonic runs at 60 Celsius, which is about 141, 142 Fahrenheit. So if you don't have one, just buy the kit. Buy a carburetor, slap it on. Don't let anybody tell you Chinese carburetors don't work. The factory carburetor on this was a Chinese carburetor. So thanks for watching, and for all you new people out there who haven't done it yet, go ahead and subscribe. We really appreciate it, and it's free. We'll see you next time.